Have you ever stopped to think about what actually makes you pick one vacation spot over another? I mean, really think about it. In this world that's just flooded with online info, we're going to unpack the science behind that exact decision.
Seriously, think about it for a second. Your last trip, or the one you're dreaming of now. Was it a friend's recommendation? Or maybe a killer photo you saw on Instagram? Or, that one ad that just seemed to follow you everywhere online? Well, that whole process, that's exactly what researchers are digging into.
All right, so let's get into it. We're going to be looking at this really cool study from the International Journal of Data and Network Science. And their whole goal was to find a real, data-backed answer to what really makes us choose where we travel.
And look, they didn't just guess. They did this right. They surveyed almost 500 tourism managers, the people who are actually in the business, to get an expert take on what actually works. Then they crunched the numbers with some pretty powerful stats to find the real connections.
Okay, so this is where it starts to get good. This right here is basically the puzzle they started with. They had a hunch, a hypothesis, that three big things were all tangled up together. A place's brand image, its digital marketing, and our final visit decision. They figured they were connected, but the big question was, how? And just how strong were those connections?
So before we can really understand what they found, we got to make sure we're all on the same page with what these three key ideas mean. Let's do a quick breakdown of each one.
All right, first up, brand image. And no, this is not just about a logo. It's the whole vibe. It's the collection of all the beliefs, feelings, and impressions you have about a place. When you think Paris, you think romance, right? Or New Zealand, you think adventure. That's brand image. It's the personality of a place living right there in your head.
Okay, next we have digital marketing. This is the stuff they do to reach you. It's all the online efforts. The social media feeds, the travel vlogs, those email newsletters, and yeah, those creepy but effective ads that seem to know exactly what you've been dreaming about. It's how a destination actively tells you its story.
And last but not least, the visit decision. This is the end goal, right? The whole point of all that branding and marketing, it's that key moment when you go from just, ooh, that looks nice, to actually planning a trip. It's the click, the booking. It's when you commit.
Okay, so now that we know what we're talking about, the researchers put it all to the test. They ran their analysis to see which of those connections in their puzzle were real and which were just, assumptions. And believe me, the results were pretty eye-opening.
And boom, here it is. This is where it all comes together. This is their final, validated model. Now, don't let the numbers scare you off. Just think of them as a strength score. The higher the number, the stronger the link. But what's really important here are the arrows. They prove that, yep, all three things are connected, and those connections are legit. They're statistically significant and positive. So, finding number one, a strong brand image directly makes you want to visit. Simple as that. If a place has a great reputation in your mind, you're way more likely to actually go there. I mean, it seems obvious, right? But now they've got the hard data to prove our gut feeling is dead on. Finding number two is basically music to marketers' ears. Digital marketing actually works. The study found a direct, strong link between all that online promotion and people deciding to visit. So yeah, those Instagram campaigns and online ads, they really do work. They're what turn a maybe someday into a heck yes, let's book it.
And this third finding, this is the glue that holds it all together. It turns out brand image and digital marketing are in this awesome feedback loop. Think of it like a team. A strong brand makes the marketing way more powerful. And at the same time, great marketing builds up an even stronger brand. They feed each other, making the whole system more effective. Okay, so we've got the science. We know these connections are real and they're powerful. But so what? Knowing this stuff is one thing, but actually using it is something else entirely. So how does a place, like a hotel or a whole city, turn this research into actual visitors? Well, that's where the study gives us a real, practical playbook.
And the takeaways here are super clear and you can act on them immediately. The study says places need to be on all the digital channels, especially the visual ones like Instagram and Facebook. They need to step up their game with things like email newsletters, and this is a big one. They can't just sit around and hope for good word of mouth. They have to get out there and shout from the rooftops what makes them special.
And this quote from the researchers themselves really just nails it. They say tourism can't only rely on guest recommendations anymore. They have to be more active in various marketing efforts, especially digital marketing. The old way of doing things just isn't enough in today's world.
So let's bring it all back to you. Now that you know there's actual science behind this, a proven link between a place's online vibe and your desire to go, think about your own travel wish list again. How much of that desire was shaped by the place itself? And how much of it was shaped by the amazing story it told you online?